Hey everybody. This week's video is really going to be kind of twofold. One, this is going to be a discussions wrap up from the previous week, but also this is kind of where we're at in the class and looking forward. So I have a sheet here I'm going to kind of reference, so I make sure and get everything out what I need to let you guys know. And you probably notice I'm coming at you mobile this time on the iPad. My kids have some friends over, and it is crazy running around downstairs where you normally see my videos come from. So sometimes, you know what, we just have to do what we have to do, and you got to put together certain. You got to make a nice quiet place to make a video, and you never know when that might happen. Today's one of those times, but that's okay. We can do this. So, with kind of going through the SAMR model discussion questions, again, totally impressed with what you guys came up with there. This was the first discussion question. I saw some kind of dissenting opinions. Some people really loved the Starbucks example. Other people said, that one didn't do it for me, but the swimming pool one did. I just thought that was great because, I mean, how often do we talk about our kids that have different learning styles? So, I mean, that was proof right there that kids, not just kids, but we have different learning styles too, and maybe the same information delivered in a couple different ways. Uh, that's why it's good, so we can all get it. Because almost everybody had a great discussion on SAMR, just some related to one better than the other. Um, some of you brought up the idea of tech over content, and the SAMR model isn't really. It's not trying to substitute the technology for the content. The content should still drive your instruction. But what the SAMR model attempts to do is train you and get you thinking in a way that how can we deliver the content using technology in a way that wasn't once possible before. But I'm really glad you guys talked on that, just because that is something that comes up from time to time. Um, a few people talked about not getting to redefinition. Don't stress. Redefinition is a challenge, and if anybody tells you they're at redefinition every day in their classroom, I would probably that would raise a red flag to me. Um, Substitution's not wrong and not bad. It's a great starting point, and sometimes it's just what we need to use. The goal is to strive to get to redefinition in certain areas and certain projects. But if you're not there, or you felt like, oh, I've never been there yet, you will be, and that's okay. Like it's not an everyday thing. Uh, some people caught on to the part about like a chalkboard and a smartboard. It's kind of funny when you think about it, but if you have smartboards in the school you're currently at, go walk around sometimes and see how the smartboards are being used. You might be surprised, and before your thought was, oh, cool, they're using the smartboard, but now you might start actually thinking about, could what they're doing actually be done on a chalkboard? And a lot of times you'll find out it actually could. So I was really glad people brought that up. Some other people started mentioning the idea of like, tech and social media and giving kids a break from tech. Couldn't agree more. I am as big of a tech nerd as they come, but even I find a point and a purpose for a time to have a break from the technology. I'm telling kids constantly in my school, put your phones down, talk to your friends, and yeah, social media, it's not going anywhere. So it's our job to teach those kids how do we use it wisely and how can they do it, use it and not get themselves in trouble. So really thought that was cool that you guys brought that up. So I'd love to hear about some of the different ways you guys are making your way to teach above that line and get to those redefinition stages. I definitely think you guys have some great ideas, and I could see the wheels turning in that discussion thread about things you might be coming up with for the future. So the second part of this video is going to be really looking at the project side of this course, like what's going on in the projects, just kind of an overview, what's coming up, so you guys have an idea. So we just finished the wiki project. Looks great so far. I love the different examples you guys have given on that. And then let's look at just kind of thinking about, there's a couple projects now going on that are kind of ongoing. One being the Diigo project. So again, that one, pretty simple, but just make sure that as you continue through this course, you're bookmarking those sites with Diigo and put those tags on there. Really, that should be a project that you're done with well before the due date, as long as you're going through, and just think every single site you've gone to in this course, bookmark it. I mean, because I'm sending you to hundreds of different sites, looking up research and the Web 2.0 tools you made. Go look at other people's Web 2.0 sites they made, bookmark those. So that one, hopefully we can knock that out. Last week, I also put out two different projects that will be coming up. One, the portfolio that you'll be building and putting artifacts in. And the artifacts can be anything from things that you've done in this class to things that you've actually implemented in your own classroom, as long as they meet those ISTE standards. And that's done on a Google site as well. But the nice part about that is there's a template. So I've given the link to the template in there. And so that's just a matter of making a copy of that template and then just editing away and plugging it in. I also had a project on there for a website you should be designing. Okay. Now the project itself is for use through Google Sites. So you've become familiar with that through the Wiki project. One thing, if your district uses a different website system, Blackboard, whatever the case may be, if you want to use that instead, because you have something already started or that's what you could actually use, I want you to make stuff that you're actually going to use, not just make to make and check off a box, but something you might actually use. So Google Sites is great if you don't have anything else, but if your district's already using something, just shoot me a message through Canvas and let me know. I'm going to make this through Blackboard or through Canvas or whatever my school uses. As long as you're meeting the criteria, then I'm good with that. As long as it's that website, that you have that online presence as a teacher. So definitely wanted to talk to you guys about that. So our next upcoming project is a Google Tools project. So you'll see on all the attached material the hundreds of tools Google has on for use. So I'm a Google certified innovator, and so I love using Google tools. I think they are changing the game of education. One, they're giving everything away for free, and it's just making things like collaboration and digital learning so much better with Google Classroom, Google Drive. So your job on this project is going to be to teach the rest of the class about a specific Google tool. Now you can get very specific with this. Example might be, let's say you want to show off the research tool and what it can do inside of Google Docs. You don't necessarily have to do a tutorial on Google Docs itself. You could do the research tool. Maybe you want to do pivot tables in Google Sheets. That could be your training. So you're going to go find a Google tool, and then you're going to create that training on it. So what are your choices to how to make that training? Well, I'm going to tell you one that is not a choice: Microsoft PowerPoint. You are not allowed to use Microsoft PowerPoint for this project. You can use Google Slides though. See what I did there? So you can use Google Slides. You could create a video on how to use it. One thing, if you are creating a tutorial in a Google Doc or a Google Slides or something like that, utilize screenshots. Screenshots are key to giving those good tutorials. Because they can really show people visually like how they're supposed to be using the tool. There's different types of screencast software out there. There's Screencast-O-Matic, there's Screencastify, I believe is the name. If you're on a PC, there's one called Electa Live that I've used before. So there's different types of screen recording software out there. Feel free to try it out. Or again, just capture screenshots of the tool while you're using it. Now you do need to send me a message through Canvas letting me know what you're going to do, what tool you're going to use, and I will approve that for you. Just a quick one, give me a quick description. Hey, I'm going to show off how to do this in Google Keep. And I'll just give you the approval, yes, no. I might tweak it a little bit, but I do want this one to be specific to Google. So the example would be somebody says, okay, I'm going to show how to use Animoto. Well, Animoto is not a Google tool. It's a Web 2.0 tool, but it's not a Google tool. This project is going to be specific to Google tools. So all the stuff will be on Canvas that you need to do for that. And then really there's just after that there's just going to be one more project that comes up, and the rest will just be finishing the ones that are ongoing. So I strongly encourage you guys to on top of the discussions and everything else, be working on things like the web page, the Digo project, and those types of things, so they don't all kind of hit you at once right towards the end. But I can't believe it. We're on week 4. You guys have been amazing so far. Your discussions are thorough. Your projects look great. I even have people that have they've self-professed they're not great with technology, and here they are creating websites. So I'm very impressed with you guys. Keep up all the great work.